Before we get into the latest on the Ohio State Buckeyes, we are 47 subs away from 10,000. We have to get there, or else I'm going to have to fire Producer Stone. Help us out and get more free Ohio State videos in exchange, hitting that sub button right now. As promised, we will discuss the latest on Chris Henry Jr., one of the top recruits in the upcoming cycle, the Ohio State commit. And I know there's a lot of, for some, flip freak out potential or flip excitement if you're not an Ohio State fan, but I assume it's all OSU fans watching. He took another unofficial visit to Oregon last weekend. We'll get into this. I'm not panicking right now. Look, Henry is a superstar recruit. Now, originally from Ohio, he made the move out to California this past, I guess, off season, I'll call it. But he's got plenty of ties to the state of Ohio. He's been committed to Ohio State for a long time. He's a 5-star recruit in the class of 2026, the number 9 overall player, number 2 receiver, number 2 from the state of California. The vibe I got was that he made the move out there to California to help him get better before he comes back to Ohio State. Now, he is going to take official visits starting late this month into June. May 30th, he's going out to Michigan. June 6th to USC, June 13th to Oregon, and June 20th to Ohio State. I would not panic here. I get that, ideally, he doesn't take any visits. He only visits Ohio State. There's no even potential interest anywhere else. But I've always approached it this way. If I were a recruit, why wouldn't I take the official visits that I'm allowed to? Why wouldn't I go visit top-tier programs and meet new players and learn things and have some nice dinners? Like, why wouldn't I do that? Like, I think that's part of the recruiting experience that I think everyone should get to experience in the end. He's even saving the best for last. He ends the official visit schedule that we know of at Ohio State on June 20th. I don't think that's an accident either. He has said he was excited about Brian Hartline as the new offensive coordinator for the Buckeyes. I am not panicking here at all, really. Now, maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but this is your chance to be honest with me. Are you worried about Chris Henry Jr. flipping from the Buckeyes? Why for yes and for no? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. It is the pinned comment on today's video, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Next up, some notable takeaways from spring practice day 2 for the Buckeyes as we'll continue to move forward on that front. Number 1, and this again, kind of combining a bunch of different media reports from those who were able to be there. I like the Buckeyes give some access. Bodpegn Miller impresses. Now, this is the young receiver who was a high school quarterback. The 2025 class at receiver featured Quincy Porter, who was a top 60 recruit, Phillip Bell, a 4-star, Bodpegn Miller, the 4-star, DZ Jones. Hope I'm pronouncing those names correctly. I don't have a guide yet, so eventually we'll get one, and I'll make sure I do it right. But if not, I'm very sorry there. Miller is making the switch from high school quarterback, so there's gonna be a transition period. It is learning a new position. He will have a probably limited at best role in 2025. Given the current wide receiver room, which we'll spend some more time on here in just a second, I wouldn't assume he has a breakout season. Then again, I didn't have all those years ago Travion Henderson setting the freshman record in his very first game. So anything's possible with Ohio State. But I think the upside with Miller is really intriguing. And if he's going to develop anywhere, isn't it going to be with Ohio State? Next up is C.J. Donaldson, showcasing his athletic ability, which is pretty unique given the impressive size Donaldson has. I would anticipate, even with a new coaching staff here, and frankly, I won't lie to you, I was more excited about Donaldson in the Chip Kelly offense than Donaldson in the New Look offense, but that doesn't mean I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it'll still be pretty darn good. Donaldson's got pretty good size, kind of maybe not rare size. I'll call it throwback size. The game has changed. Speed is far more important than it was 20 years ago when you had those throwback days of, I always remember Wisconsin and Ron Dane, where I swear he looked 255 pounds out there, and Jerome Bettis. Donaldson's not that big, but 6'2", 238 listed size is big, and he's not slow either. And that height, weight, speed combination is very, very appealing. Now, you've got a chance to get the Ohio State football national championship gear over at chatsports.com/OSU champs. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, and everything else in between. Get your gear today. chatsports.com/OSU champs. Again, that link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Day 2 takeaways, the wide receiver 4 battle. Now, I think all of us know who the top 3 guys are going to be. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith, who I do think if he had been draft eligible this year, he would be the first wide receiver taken. I think he legitimately would have been at least the 4th overall pick. Like, the Patriots would have jumped all over him, which is kind of insane to think about. Worst case, 5. Carnell Tate, for a big step forward there. Brandon Inniss, I am excited about. I think has showcased some good stuff. He's in line to be wide receiver 3. But even last year, you saw Inniss get reps with Emeka Egbuka involved with the offense. So who's next up? First up is Mylan Graham, who has some good size out of New Haven, Indiana. Didn't make an impact in 2024. Obviously, no stats there for Graham. But this is the number 1 player from the state of Indiana, the 5-star recruit, the 33rd overall player. This is someone who I think this team is excited about. Had the redshirt year last year, but has the pedigree, has the, I call it presumed talent because we haven't seen it yet at this level, so it is always a bit presumed. But I think has the ability to maybe carve out a bigger role. And imagine, next year you got Mylan Graham and Jeremiah Smith just cooking DBs. Oh, boy, that's fun. Bryson Rogers, also, again, good size, it's listed size. Caught 5 passes for 46 yards this past season. He was not as highly ranked coming out in 2023. He was all the way down there at number 361 overall. I think Graham, again, has the higher presumed talent, but Rogers versus Graham, and who can be that wide receiver 4, with other guys who will also contend, make no mistake about it, is a battle worth watching out for, even if it's not the same as the quarterback battle, which we'll get to in a little bit. Who do you want then as the 4th receiver? M for Mylan Graham, B for Bryson Rogers, O for if it's somebody else. You can type in for other. Mention the name too, by the way. Go vote in the comments of today's show. The potential tight end pecking order may be beginning to kind of materialize here. Purdue transfer Max Clare, who I am very excited about. I think has really good upside there. He got the reps with the ones, followed by Kazmarek, and then Jelani Thurman beyond that. And I think Will's probably just a good blocking tight end. Purdue's offense was interesting. Let's put it that way. Clare was still pretty heavily involved. Don't let the Harold Fannons of the world confuse you. You get to near 700 yards. That's really good tight end production at the collegiate level. I fully expect Clare to emerge as tight end 1 and then be a NFL draft pick when his time with the Buckeyes is over. One more note, I was pretty impressed with what Julian Sayin had to say. He's kind of in a unique spot of not only is he battling for the quarterback spot, he's also kind of battling for leadership responsibilities, and that comes with being the quarterback for a team that's still going to harbor national championship hopes anyway. Here's what Sayin had to say. Will was a great leader for this team, and it was fun to watch. He was someone who everyone could kind of relate to. He was liked by everyone. I think if you went around the Woody and asked about Will Howard, everyone would have good things to say about him. So I think that's something that I'm trying to take the same approach. I think you have to block out the noise, and I'm just getting focused on spring practice and just getting better every day. Look, that's the right thing to say. There's a lot on Julian Sayin's plate. Not only are you focused on trying to be the best football player you can be and beat out other contenders for this job, you're also trying to be the best leader you can be. And that requires a lot. It's a unique thing that not everybody is good at. It's just how it goes. I think, by the way, the leadership void that the Buckeyes have to replace is underrated. It's not all on Sayin's shoulders, by the way, but he might be the quarterback, so a lot of it goes on him. More updates for you guys. First off, elite name alert, Bo Bentley. I think I'm pronouncing the first name correctly. 4-star quarterback in the class of 2026, visited on Wednesday. By all accounts, sounds like things went pretty good. Per On3, he is number 45 overall prospect, the number 5 QB. This, again, is the class of 2026. The Buckeyes right now do not have a 2026 commit. And given the precarious nature of depth in the college football world and how much you see the transfer portal impact the backup QB room, especially for a high-end program like Ohio State, I would not be surprised if they try to get at least one commit each and every single cycle. So Bentley is a name to keep an eye out for. Made it to the end of the video. We appreciate you guys. Obviously, make sure you're subbed so we don't have to fire Producer Stone. And give us a like on today's show as well.